In the quiet breath of early dawn, before any light touched the ancient walls, he awoke to a call that came from no living man. A whisper, deep, distant, as if echoing through centuries. "Rise, Arion." The young Templar knight opened his eyes slowly. The cold stone of the dormitory, the absolute silence of the monastery, the faint trace of incense still lingering in the air. Everything seemed ordinary, yet something inside him knew that voice was not a dream. Arion sat on the edge of his straw bed, feeling the faint chill of the early hour. His heart beat steadily, calm, but firm, like a distant drum calling a warrior toward destiny. He took a quiet breath, stood up, and stepped into the empty corridor. With each footstep, the soft echo of the stones responded, as though the entire monastery was waking with him. Turning around the corner, he noticed a dim glow coming from the chapter hall, a place normally forbidden before sunrise. And there, in the center of the shadows, illuminated by a single flame, stood Master Elendor, a man of many winters with a long beard and eyes as deep as time itself. Arion paused at the doorway, respectful. "Master, did you call for me?" The old man lifted his gaze. There was something in his expression, something between concern and hope. "I did not call you, Arion," he said in a voice that carried centuries. "But it is time you knew." Arion's heart tightened slightly. He sensed something immense unfolding. Elendor continued, "Tonight, you have been chosen to walk beyond the gates no brother has crossed for more than 300 years. Arion swallowed slowly. "The stone gates?" The master nodded. He had heard the legends, whispers of a hidden place older than the Order itself, a place guarding something that should never be awakened. "Why me?" Arion asked softly. Elendor stepped forward and rested a hand on his shoulder. "Because you heard the calling. No man seeks that path. The path seeks the man." A shiver moved down Orion's spine. "What lies beyond the gates?" he asked. The master breathed deeply before speaking. "The truth of our order and the truth about you." A heavy silence settled between them. "Prepare yourself," the master said. "The journey will be long, silent, and it will demand something few still possess." Arion bowed his head. "Courage, master?" The old man gave a quiet, bittersweet smile. "Courage and purity of spirit." Many had the first, almost none kept the second. Then the master extinguished the flame, and in the darkness, only his voice remained. "Walk with me, Arion. The night is long, and the world needs you to remember who you truly are." They took their first step, and the soft echo of their boots followed them through the ancient halls, while outside the gentle wind brushed the old walls, as if the world itself waited for that moment. The halls grew darker as Arion followed Master Elendor. There were no torches lit, no candles burning, only the faint silver breath of the moon leaking through narrow stone slits. Each step echoed like a quiet heartbeat. As they descended a set of winding stairs, the air grew colder, older, as though every stone whispered memories of forgotten centuries. Arion felt the weight of the moment settling over him, not as fear, but as a solemn calling, one he could not turn away from. At the base of the stairs, Elendor paused. Before them stood a wooden door, plain, unremarkable, Yet Arion sensed something humming behind it, a subtle vibration, like distant chanting that human ears were never meant to hear. "Master, what is this place?" Arion asked softly. Ilendor spoke without looking back. "This is the passage beneath the monastery, a place even our grand masters have entered, only in times of great purpose." He pushed the door open. A long corridor stretched forward, illuminated by nothing but darkness. Yet did a pale blue glow seem to rise faintly from the stones themselves, guiding their steps like the breath of ancient spirits. Arion whispered, "Is this the path to the stone gates?" The master nodded. As they walked, Arion noticed inscriptions along the walls, not in Latin, nor in any language he had ever studied. They were symbols, circular, intricate, interlocked, glowing faintly as he passed, as if acknowledging his presence. He slowed for a moment, reaching out to one of the runes. Before his fingers touched the stone, Elendor spoke sharply. "Do not touch them." Arion froze. "They are not meant to be touched by the unprepared," the master continued. "And you are not ready. Not yet." Arion withdrew his hand respectfully. "Who carved these?" he asked. Elendor's steps slowed. "No one knows. Some believe they were placed here before the monastery existed, before even the earliest kingdoms. We built upon this ground, but we were not the first to claim it." Arion felt a faint tremor of awe and unease. "How far does this corridor go?" he asked. The master answered, "Farther than our records can measure, but we walk only a part of it, only the part meant for you." After several minutes, the corridor widened into a vast underground chamber. Arion gasped softly. The ceiling soared above them like the dome of an ancient cathedral held by towering stone pillars carved in spirals. A quiet river of mist flowed across the floor, its gentle waves shimmering with silver hues. In the center of the chamber stood a circular archway, massive, imposing, carved from a single block of basalt stone. Even from afar, Arion could feel it calling to him, a pull in his chest, gentle but inescapable. "The stone gates," he whispered, breath trembling slightly. "They're real." Elendor placed a hand on Arion's shoulder. "To most they are legend. To you, they are beginning." Arion stepped closer. The mist swirled around his boots, cool and soft. The air vibrated, a silent, ancient resonance, as though the gate recognized him. "Master," he whispered, "what lies beyond?" The old man took a slow breath, the weight of many years pressing behind his eyes. "Truth," he said softly. "Not the truth taught in halls or written in books, but the truth carried in your blood. A truth older than our order." Arion's heart pounded, not in fear, but in the quiet thrill of destiny unfolding. The master stepped back. "This part, Arion, you walk alone." Arion turned toward the colossal archway, the runes on its surface glowing faintly, reacting to his presence as though waking from a long sleep. The mist parted, the air grew still, and with a deep, soft hum, the stone gates began to open, slowly, silently, like the breath of the world itself, shifting. Arion inhaled deeply and stepped forward. As Arion stepped through the stone gates, the world behind him faded, not vanished, but softened, like a distant memory wrapped in fog. The air changed first, warmer, thicker, filled with a quiet hum that seemed to vibrate through his bones. Arion paused, letting his eyes adjust. He stood in a vast circular hall, so immense that his footsteps disappeared into silence before they could echo back to him. The ceiling arched high above, carved with constellations he did not recognize, shimmering with a faint blue light that pulsed like a heartbeat. A breath escaped his lips. This place was alive. He looked around slowly. Pillars, 12 of them, encircled the room, each one carved with symbols different from the runes outside, but just as ancient, just as mysterious. Arion felt an instinctive pull toward the center of the chamber. There, on a small stone pedestal, rested a circular disc, black as obsidian, smooth as still water and engraved with markings that shifted like shadows when he moved. He approached, heartbeat steady, a quiet rhythm in the vast silence. But before he could reach the pedestal, a whisper drifted across the hall, not frightening, not threatening, but undeniably present. Arion. He froze. The voice was soft, layered, as if spoken by more than one person at once. He turned slowly, but no one was there, just the pillars, the carved constellations, the quiet hum in the air. The voice came again, closer this time. "You have walked far, child of the forgotten line." Arion's throat tightened. "Who's there?" he whispered. A faint shimmer formed near the edge of the chamber, like heat rising from sand. It twisted, folded, and slowly shaped itself into a figure. A man, tall, clad in an ancient tunic, unlike anything Arion had ever seen among the Templars. His face was calm, his presence serene, yet a quiet power radiated from him like warm sunlight behind the clouds. Arion stepped back, instinctively cautious. The figure raised a hand softly. "Fear not," he said, voice gentle. "I am not flesh nor shadow. I am an echo, a memory of those who stood here long before your order was born." Arion steadied his breath. "Are you a spirit?" The figure smiled faintly. "Not in the way you imagine, but perhaps close enough." Arion swallowed. "What is this place?" he asked softly. The figure looked around the chamber, his expression tinged with reverence. "This is the Chamber of Echoes, where time bends, where memory is kept, and where truth is not learned but remembered." He turned back to Arion. "And you, Arion, you are here because the blood you carry has opened what has slept for centuries." Arion felt the pull in his chest again, that same strange resonance he felt near the gates. "My blood," he whispered. "What does that mean?" The figure stepped closer. "There exists a lineage, old as the first stone laid on this earth, a line that once guarded the knowledge of worlds long forgotten. Your order found fragments of it and built its purpose around those fragments." Arion felt confusion, awe, and a faint sense of destiny intertwining around him. "But why me?" he whispered. The figure's voice grew softer, almost tender. "Because you are the first in many generations to hear the calling." "The first whose spirit is not clouded by fear or ambition or the hunger for power." Arion lowered his gaze. "I don't understand." "You will," the echo said gently. Everything begins with the disc on the pedestal. Touch it, and your path will unfold. Arion hesitated. He remembered Elendor's warning. You are not ready. Not yet. And yet, the disc seemed to pulse softly, as if responding to his presence. The figure sensed his fear. Do not let doubt guide you, he whispered. The truth does not harm, but it reveals. Arion stepped closer, drawn by something he could not name. His hand hovered above the black disc. The surface rippled, as if made of liquid shadow. He took a slow breath and gently touched it. The chamber trembled. A soft sound, like a deep, distant choir, rose from the floor. The constellations above brightened, casting swirling patterns of light down the walls. The disc warmed beneath his fingertips. And then, everything went silent. A silence so deep it felt like the entire world was holding its breath. Arion's own breath slowed, his mind still, his heart open, and the visions began. The moment Arion touched the disc, the world dissolved into darkness, not frightening, not suffocating, but vast, open, like drifting into the heart of the night sky. Then, a single spark of light appeared, small, distant, floating in the void like an ember of creation. Arion's breath steadied. The spark multiplied. On to it, then 3, then 1,000, until he stood in an ocean of stars, far more than the constellations on the ceiling of the chamber. The stars shifted, twisting into shapes, patterns, images that moved like living memory. A voice, soft and layered like the echo of ages, spoke above him. See, Arion, and remember. The stars aligned, forming a vast map of the world, not as Arion knew it, but as it had been long before chronicles were written. Great mountains rose. Seas shimmered under silver moons, and scattered across the land were structures so colossal, so intricate, that no empire of his time could have built them. Temples carved into mountainsides, stone circles aligned with the heavens, towers that touched the sky. Arion whispered, "What is this?" The voice answered gently, "A world before your world, a knowledge before your knowledge, a people before your people." The vision zoomed closer, transporting Arion across oceans and lands. He saw a gathering, 12 figures cloaked in white stone armor, standing on a plateau illuminated by twin moons. Their faces were solemn. Their presence radiated wisdom, discipline, and quiet sorrow. Arion felt a strange ache in his chest, as if he knew them, or had once stood among them. "Who are they?" he whispered. The voice responded, "The first keepers, guardians of the sacred knowledge, the last protectors of a world nearing its dusk." Arion watched as the sky above those ancient guardians darkened. Storms of unnatural light twisted through the heavens, as if reality itself were coming undone. The ground trembled, mountains cracked, oceans swallowed entire cities. The keepers raised their arms, chanting in a language Arion could not understand, a deep resonant sound that vibrated through the vision. A dome of shimmering light formed around them, beautiful but fragile. The voice whispered into Arion's ear. They could not save their world, but they preserved its knowledge, and they sealed that knowledge beneath sacred orders that would rise in centuries to come. Arion's breath caught. Sacred orders. His voice trembled. "Your order," the voice said softly. The Templars were built upon the memory of what the Keepers guarded. Arion felt his heart pounding slowly, a deep echo in his chest. So the Templars, we were meant to protect something older than ourselves. The stars swirled around him, forming a new image, a symbol, circular, intricate, the same symbol that glowed on the stone gates. "Not something," the voice answered. "Someone." The stars burst into new shapes, revealing a silhouette. A lone figure, hooded, standing upon a cliff as storms raged around him. Arion felt the pull again, stronger this time, as though that silhouette were bound to him. "Who is he?" Arion whispered. The voice grew softer, almost mournful. "The last of the first Keepers, the one who vanished when the old world fell. His name has been lost to many." The silhouette turned slightly, revealing eyes glowing faintly with ancient light. "But his blood continues." Arion's breath stopped. The stars rearranged once more, forming a line, a lineage stretching across ages, across kingdoms, across empires, until it stopped on him. Arion stumbled backward, heart trembling. "My blood," the voice whispered. "You are his descendant, the last heir of the first Keepers." A soft vibration surged through his body, like awakening energy long asleep. Arion shook his head faintly. "That's impossible. I'm only a Templar, just a soldier, just a—" "No." The voice silenced him gently, firmly, kindly. "You are the key, and the world has waited a long time for you to awaken." The stars dimmed. The vision began to fade, swirling into darkness once more. As everything dissolved, the voice whispered one final time, a whisper that felt like destiny settling into place. "Awaken, Arion, and step into what was always yours." And in a breath, the vision ended. The darkness folded inward, like a long breath being drawn back into the lungs of the world, and then a faint, warm glow returned. Arion felt the stone floor beneath his hands, the cold air of the chamber brushing against his skin, the distant echo of dripping water in the ancient hall. He inhaled slowly, his chest rising with the weight of a truth he had not asked for, but could no longer deny. The vision faded completely, but its presence lingered, like embers glowing beneath the surface of his mind. Arion opened his eyes. The golden disc still rested between his fingers, no longer shining, but warm, as though it remembered him. He looked around the chamber, the starlit ceiling, the stone gates, the silent patterns carved in the walls. Everything felt different, as if the room were watching him now, instead of simply existing. His voice broke the silence, soft, uncertain. "I am his descendant." The words trembled into the air and vanished like breath in winter. Arion's pulse slowed. Not with fear, but with a strange calm, like stepping into a story he had unknowingly lived toward his entire life. He rose carefully. His knees felt weak, as if the vision had drained centuries through him. Yet his spine stood straighter than before. The chamber responded. The constellations above him shimmered just once, a subtle recognition like a bow from ancient heavens. Arion's hand brushed the stone gates. The carved symbol, the same symbol from the vision, glowed faintly beneath his touch, as though the stone itself whispered, "You know who you are now." A soft wind stirred through the chamber. There were no openings, no tunnels, yet the air moved, gentle and deliberate, circling him like a silent guardian. Arion closed his eyes. Fragments of the vision flickered in his mind. The first keepers, their sorrow, their chant protecting dying knowledge. The last keeper on the cliff, eyes burning with ancient purpose. The lineage of light stretching across time until it burned onto him. He exhaled slowly, a breath that carried centuries. "What must I do?" he whispered into the vast, breathing silence. A soft hum vibrated through the stone, so faint he felt it more than heard it. The golden disc pulsed once in his palm. Then a whisper drifted across the chamber. Not a voice like the one in the vision, not ancient, not celestial, closer, older than stone. A whisper belonging to the chamber itself. "Follow the path that opens." Arion turned instinctively. The shadows at the far end of the hall shifted, revealing a narrow passageway that had not been there moments before. Carved with the same spiraling constellations, its entrance seemed to breathe, as if inviting him forward. His heartbeat deepened. He knew, with a certainty that felt carved into his bones, that this path was not for any Templar, not for any soldier, not for any pilgrim or monk. It was for him, only him, the last heir of the first keepers. Arion tightened his fingers around the disc, its warmth now steady, guiding. He stepped toward the new passageway, each footfall echoing with quiet destiny. And behind him, the stone gate sealed shut with a soft, resonant sigh, as though the chamber had completed its first task and begun another. Arion did not look back. He stepped into the passage, into the darkness that welcomed him, into the next truth waiting to be uncovered. The air inside the passage was warmer, almost breath-like, as if the corridor were alive and exhaling softly around him. Arion's steps echoed in slow, steady rhythms, each one fading into the darkness ahead. The walls glimmered faintly, not with light but with memory. Delicate patterns carved into the stone shifted as he passed, like constellations being rearranged by an unseen hand. He lifted his hand to the wall, and the carvings brightened beneath his touch, responding to something within him, something awakened by the vision. A soft whisper brushed his ear. Not frightening, not malicious, more like a story trying to speak. Arion paused. The whisper grew clearer, not in words, but in emotion. Sorrow, hope, a distant echo of faith. Then, a second whisper joined it, and a third. And soon the air was filled with a tapestry of voices, layered like faint memories left behind by centuries. Arion closed his eyes, letting the whispers move through him. For a moment he felt weightless, as if the corridor stretched beyond space, beyond time. a path walked by countless others whose footsteps had long turned to dust. He breathed slowly, deeply, letting the whispers guide him. The golden disc in his hand pulsed once, illuminating a narrow band of the passage. Arion followed its glow. The corridor curved gently into a deeper darkness, one undisturbed for ages. Then the whispers shifted. They grew sharper, urgent, as though warning him. Arion opened his eyes. The air changed, cooler now, denser, heavy with something old. He raised the golden disc. Its light grew stronger, casting long shadows across the stone. And ahead, the passage widened into a circular chamber. At its center stood a pedestal of black stone, smooth as glass, untouched by time. Hovering above it, rotating slowly, was a fragment of crystal. Small, pale and humming with a resonance that vibrated through Arion's bones. The whispers around him fell silent, completely, as though the chamber itself was holding its breath. Arion stepped closer. The crystal rotated faster, glowing faintly with the same light he had seen in the eyes of the last First Keeper in the vision. His heart beat once, a steady, deep thud. Then the whispers returned, but this time they spoke with one voice, clear, unified, ancient. "Do not touch what is not yet yours." Arion froze. The crystal hovered inches away, its glow pulsing like a living heart. He whispered, "What is it?" The chamber answered, "A memory shard, one of 12. Fragments of the world that came before yours." Arion felt his breath tremble. "Why is it here?" The voice grew softer, as if choosing each word carefully. "Because it waits for the one who carries the Keeper's blood. But you..." The crystal dimmed slightly, as though examining him. "You are not ready." Arion lowered his head, the weight of destiny settling deeper into his chest. "How do I become ready?" he asked quietly. A faint rumble vibrated through the chamber, not of anger, but of recognition. "You must awaken the light within you." "And reclaim what the world has forgotten." The walls shimmered softly, revealing new symbols, spirals, celestial paths, maps of constellations long vanished from the sky. Arion watched in silent awe. The path ahead was far greater than he'd imagined. Then, a soft breeze passed behind him. He turned instinctively. The entrance through which he had come was gone, sealed, vanished into seamless stone. The chamber whispered, "Forward, Arion, only forward." A new doorway opened on the opposite side of the room, tall, narrow, lined with silver runes that pulsed gently like a heartbeat. Arion tightened his grip on the disc. The path was chosen. There was no turning back. With a slow, steady breath, he stepped through the new doorway, and the chamber closed behind him with the softness of a final chapter turning its page. The doorway sealed behind Arion with a hush so soft it felt like the world itself exhaling after a long, ancient breath. He stood in darkness, pure, total, a darkness so complete it felt almost peaceful. Then a distant tone vibrated through the air, soft at first, a single note, like the beginning of a chant. Arion inhaled. The sound deepened, spreading across the void, layers unfolding like ripples across still water. Gradually, the darkness thinned, revealing faint streaks of light spiraling around him, not beams, not torches. But ribbons, threads of pale luminescence flowing through the air like living strands of memory. Arion reached out. A thread of light touched his fingers, and instantly he felt something inside him respond. A warmth, hidden but familiar, stirring beneath his ribcage. Then the voice returned. Not the whisper from the chamber, not the voice from the vision. This one was deeper, older, like the echo of the first dawn. The light recognizes you, heir of the keepers. Arion's breath steadied. The threads of light twisted, weaving themselves into patterns, forming a vast circular chamber around him, and at its center stood 12 statues, each shaped like a tall, armored figure, faces hooded, hands resting over their hearts. The first keepers, silent, watching. Arion's heartbeat slowed, a deep, resonant rhythm matching the pulse of the chamber. The voice echoed again. To walk the keeper's path, you must reclaim what lies dormant within you. A hum vibrated through the statues. Their stone armor cracked softly, revealing faint lines of light beneath like veins, awakening after ages of sleep. Arion whispered, "What must I reclaim?" The chamber responded, "Your echo." A single statue, the one directly in front of him, glowed brighter than the rest. Its chest opened slowly like petals of carved stone parting, revealing a core of swirling white-gold energy. Soft, alive, pulsing in harmony with Arion's heart. Arion stepped closer. The energy responded, unfurling like a gentle flame extending toward him. The voice whispered, "Stretch out your hand." Arion lifted his palm, slowly, cautiously. The moment his skin touched the glowing core, a rush of warmth surged into him, not painful, but vast, expansive. He gasped softly as visions flickered behind his eyes, a temple bathed in twin moons, warriors kneeling before an ancient oath, a keeper raising his hand in blessing, a symbol of spirals and starlight. A young child wrapped in white cloth, carried through a burning world toward safety. Then, a voice within the vision whispered, "Echo of who you were." The energy entered his chest like a slow, steady breath of light. Arion staggered, placing a hand on the statue for balance, but the warmth held him, lifting him gently instead of letting him fall. The light settled within him, soft, calm, complete. Then, silence. Arion opened his eyes. The statue dimmed, its purpose fulfilled. The voice spoke again, but now it sounded closer, more familiar. One echo restored, 11 remain. Arion inhaled deeply, a new steadiness anchoring his spirit. He felt stronger, clearer. As though a forgotten piece of himself had finally come home. From the far end of the chamber, a new doorway appeared, tall, carved in bright lines of silver light. The voice faded into stillness. "Walk forward, Arion. The next truth awaits." Arion closed his fingers around the golden disc, still warm, still guiding. With a slow, resolute step, he walked toward the glowing doorway, ready for whatever lay beyond, on the path of the first keepers. The silver-lit doorway parted like a curtain of mist as Arion stepped through it. Beyond, a long, narrow corridor stretched into the darkness. Silent, unbroken, timeless. The air grew cooler, carrying the faint scent of old parchment and forgotten memories. His footsteps were quiet here, so quiet that each one sounded as though it was happening far away, in another life. The walls rose tall on both sides, smooth as polished stone, yet dimly reflective, as if they held onto echoes of those who had walked this path before him. Arion lifted the golden disc. Its glow illuminated only a small circle of space around him. Not enough to reveal what lay ahead, but enough to remind him that he was not meant to see the entire path at once. He walked, slowly, steadily. Then, a faint shimmer rippled across the left wall. Arion paused. The stone surface brightened, revealing a name etched in pale, wavering light, not written in Templar script, not in Latin, not in any language he had learned, but he understood it, not with the mind, but with the spirit. He whispered it, softly, reverently. A name that tasted like memory. The wall responded with a gentle pulse, like a heartbeat acknowledging itself. As he stepped forward, another name appeared, then another. And another, each one glowing to life just as he drew near, as if awakened by his presence. Arion frowned softly. These names, they feel familiar, but I don't know them. A faint whisper moved through the corridor, this time carried by the walls themselves. You knew them once. Arion's chest tightened. He placed his palm against the stone. Warmth bloomed under his touch, and with it, a feeling like the ghost of an emotion. Recognition, kinship, loss. He whispered, "Are they keepers?" They were. Arion continued walking. The corridor widened slightly, revealing broader walls filled with hundreds of names stretching upward into darkness. Some glowed brightly, their light steady and warm. Others flickered weakly as if fading, and some were completely dark. Arion's breath slowed. "What does it mean," he murmured, "when a name has no light?" The corridor answered, its voice soft and solemn. "Those are the forgotten." The ones whose lineage ended, the ones whose echo was lost. Arion felt a chill run gently down his spine, not of fear but of sorrow. He placed his hand over one of the dark names, a faint outline barely visible. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the name glimmered, a faint spark, like a memory trying to breathe again. But it didn't awaken. The spark faded. Arion lowered his hand. Can they be restored? The answer floated like a sigh. Only by one who carries living light. He looked down at his chest, where the echo of the first statue still pulsed quietly within him, soft as a heartbeat at rest. He whispered, "Me." The corridor did not speak. It didn't need to. Arion walked on. The names grew fewer, the light dimmer, the silence deeper. Until finally, he reached the end of the corridor. A tall archway shaped like an open book, its pages carved in stone, but its center filled with swirling mist like a window into another realm. Above the archway, a single line shimmered, "Where names end." Truth begins. Arion felt the words settle into him, heavy yet guiding. He took a slow breath, felt the echo within him warm, and stepped toward the mist-filled archway, toward whatever truth waited beyond. The mist parted softly around him like hands guiding him forward, and the corridor of forgotten names faded behind him as he crossed into the next trial. The mist curled around Arion like soft, drifting smoke, cool against his skin, gentle as a whisper. Then, a faint hum began beneath his feet, vibrating through the ground like the slow heartbeat of something impossibly old. The mist thinned, and the world opened. Arion found himself standing inside a vast, circular chamber, far larger than any room in the Templar archives above. The ceiling stretched so high it vanished into darkness, as though the night sky itself hung just out of sight. And all around him, time was breaking. Fragments of moments floated in the air, glimmers of scenes caught halfway between existence and memory. He saw a city of white stone, bathed beneath twin moons, for a breath. Then it shattered into drifting silver dust. He saw robed figures chanting on the edge of a cliff as storms twisted the sky. Then the vision blinked out like a dying flame. He saw a child, a newborn, wrapped in white cloth glowing faintly, only for the image to crack as if it were glass and dissolve into nothing. Time here wasn't broken like something damaged, but broken open, as if revealing layers that were never meant to be seen at once. Arion exhaled slowly. His voice trembled in the vastness. What is this place? A soft vibration swept across the chamber, and a whisper rose from the walls, gentle, resonant, woven with ages. The chamber of broken time. Where memories that once were and memories that might have been coexist. Arion stepped forward. The moment he did, the floor beneath him lit up with thin lines of white gold light, forming a path that stretched into the center of the chamber. His heart beat steadily. Each step he took sent ripples through the fragments of time, causing visions to flutter like fragile wings. He reached the center. There, suspended in mid-air, was a sphere of translucent crystal, about the size of his fist, rotating slowly, its surface fractured like a world made of shattered mirrors. Arion stared at it. Each fragment reflected something different: a newborn child, a burning city, a warrior bowing, a keeper raising a torch of light, a cloaked figure watching from the shadows. His breath caught. Those were the same visions he saw in the first echo. He reached out hesitantly. The chamber immediately responded, the voice now surrounding him instead of speaking from afar. This is your timeline, Arion, broken because your echo is incomplete. He lowered his hand slowly. I can't fix time. Not time, the voice corrected gently. Yourself. The sphere pulsed once, a slow, deep vibration that resonated through Arion's bones. Suddenly, a piece of the crystal detached, hovering before him like a glowing shard. Within it, a vision flickered, brief but vivid. A young man, a keeper, standing on a high balcony, watching stars spiral above him as if listening to their music. Arion felt something in his chest tighten. The shard drifted closer, stopping just inches from his sternum. The voice whispered, "This is the echo you have forgotten, a moment from the life your blood remembers." Arion hesitated. What happens if I accept it? The chamber dimmed around him as though leaning in. You become more of who you truly are. The shard's glow warmed, soft as candlelight. Arion lifted his palm. The moment he touched the fragment, light surged into him. Slow, steady, not overwhelming, but profound. Images rushed through his mind, a keeper tracing constellations in the air, a hidden library beneath a silver city, a vow spoken beneath falling stars, a circle of 12 standing in silence, a voice whispering, "Guard the light, even when the world forgets it." Arion inhaled sharply. The shard dissolved into radiance, entering his chest. A second echo awakened within him. Brighter than the first, stronger, resonating like a memory finally returning home. He opened his eyes. The broken sphere dimmed. The fragments drifted apart like embers carried by the wind. Not broken, released. The chamber whispered softly, 2 echoes restored, 10 remain. Walk forward, Arion." A doorway appeared on the far side of the chamber, formed of shimmering cracks of light woven together like threads of fate. Arion closed his fingers around the golden disc. Its glow deepened in response. He turned toward the new path. And with a calm, steady breath, he stepped forward, leaving the chamber of broken time behind as it faded into starlit silence. The shimmering doorway folded open like a tear in the fabric of night. Arion stepped through and felt the air change immediately. Cooler, thinner, quiet in a way that felt almost sacred. A pale glow formed above him, soft and silver, not bright like sunlight, not shifting like torchlight, but serene, steady, like the glow of a moon that had never risen in the world above. As Arion's eyes adjusted, the new chamber revealed itself. A vast hall, longer than a cathedral nave, wider than a fortress courtyard. Its ceiling was shaped like an enormous dome, and upon it hung a luminous, silent moon. Not painted, not carved. Suspended, floating as if held in place by the breath of time itself. Its light washed over the hall in gentle waves, softening the edges of stone and turning the air into something almost dreamlike. Arion's breath slowed. His heartbeat softened. Even the echo within his chest pulsed more gently, as though the moonlight was soothing it. He whispered into the stillness, "What is this place?" The hall answered with a voice made of quiet air, barely more than a sigh. "The Hall of the Silent Moon." Where your spirit meets what it hides. Arion felt a faint shiver. Not of fear, but of anticipation. The moon above shifted slightly, casting a beam of light down the center of the hall. a path. Arion followed it. His footsteps echoed softly, yet the sound disappeared instantly, absorbed by the hall as though silence here was sacred law. As he walked, pillars came into view, tall, slender, lined along each side of the hall. At the base of each pillar rested a bowl of still, mirror-like water. Moonlight touched their surfaces, revealing faint images swirling within. A battlefield, a cloaked figure at dawn, a mother holding a newborn, a keeper raising a staff of light, a burning library, memories, but not all of them his. Arion paused beside one bowl. He leaned in slowly. The surface shimmered and rearranged itself, forming an image of a stone bridge stretching over a silver river. A young man stood upon it, a keeper, his face gentle, his expression solemn. Then the young man turned and looked directly at Arion. The water trembled. Arion staggered back slightly, his heart tightening. The hall whispered, "Not all memories remembered are your own." Arion swallowed softly. "Then why show them to me? So you may understand what the keepers carried and what you must carry now." Arion continued walking. As he neared the center of the hall, the moon above brightened, a single pulse, gentle but encompassing, like the soft toll of an unseen bell. A circular platform rose slowly from the floor, smooth and white, like moonlit marble. Arion stepped onto it. The platform warmed beneath his feet. Then, the moonlight above narrowed into a single beam descending upon him. A silence deeper than any silence he'd ever known fell over the hall. The voice whispered, closer now, as if speaking from within his chest. "You carry two echoes, but your heart still hides the truth of your fear." Arion stiffened. "My fear?" Every keeper had one. Every heir must face theirs. The moonlight intensified, but remained soft, wrapping Arion in a cocoon of silver glow. Shadows formed around him, shaping themselves into the faint outline of a younger Arion, kneeling in snow beside the fallen form of a Templar brother. His breath caught. The wound was old. He rarely allowed himself to remember it. The shadow flickered again, showing Arion as a child alone, standing at the doors of the monastery, watching the snow fall, wondering why no one came for him. His chest tightened. He whispered, "Please, stop." The hall did not. The shadows twisted once more into the image of Arion himself, facing a great golden gate, the same from the vision. But turning away, fear in his eyes. He felt his throat tighten. "I'm not afraid," he whispered, but his voice shook. The moonlight dimmed into a soft, knowing glow. It is not weakness to admit what lives in your heart. Only in silence does fear persist. Arion exhaled slowly. The shadows dissolved like dust in water. The hall remained still, waiting. Arion placed a hand over his chest. The echo inside him vibrated softly, a warm, steady pulse guiding him inward. And for the first time, he whispered the truth aloud. "I fear not being enough, not worthy of the blood I carry." The hall breathed, a soft, silent expansion of air. The moon brightened, the platform beneath him glowed, and the voice, gentle, quiet, almost like a hand on the shoulder, whispered, "Then listen well, Arion. Worthiness was never required. only courage to walk forward. A gentle warmth filled his chest, different from the echoes, calmer, truer. The moonlight softened, the platform lowered. A new doorway appeared at the far end of the hall, shaped like a vertical crescent moon, its edges trembling with pale glow. Arion opened his eyes. The fear within him felt lighter now, unmasked and softened by the truth he had spoken. He stepped off the platform, toward the glowing doorway, toward the next step on a path that no Templar had ever walked before. And as he crossed the threshold, the moon dimmed behind him, leaving the hall silent once more. As Arion stepped through the crescent-shaped doorway, the air changed again, becoming lighter, almost weightless, as if the space ahead was no longer bound to the world he knew. The ground beneath his boots was no longer stone. It felt smooth, almost glass-like, with gentle waves of pale color shimmering beneath its surface, moving softly as though the floor itself were alive and breathing. The corridor was narrow and silent, lit only by thin lines of silver light running along the walls. These lines did not flicker. They pulsed, slowly, steadily, like the quiet heartbeat of an ancient being who had never truly slept. Arion moved forward, each footstep echoing not outward, but inward, a distant resonance in the center of his chest. He reached the end of the passage, and the world opened. A vast hall stretched before him, a chamber without a ceiling, without visible walls, as if it had been carved directly into the fabric of the night sky. Above him, stars drifted in slow spirals, their constellations unfamiliar, their movements deliberate, like celestial gears turning in a silent, eternal machine. And at the center of the chamber, rising from nothing, supported by nothing, a staircase of light, a spiraling ascent made of dozens, perhaps hundreds, of radiant steps shimmering in soft silver, blue, and white. Each step glowed gently as if filled with quiet breath, and each one emitted a faint resonant tone. Not quite a chime, not quite a voice, something between memory and music. Arion approached. The first step brightened the moment his foot touched it, sending a warm pulse up through his leg and into his chest. The tone it produced was deep, serene, like a distant choir note murmured by the stars themselves. He lifted himself to the next step. A higher tone answered, then another. And another. The staircase was singing, softly, slowly, in response to him. As Arion climbed, the stars around him loosened, descending in gentle swirls that encircled the staircase like drifting petals of light. Then, from this constellation of falling stars, a figure emerged. She was tall, shaped of translucent starlight, draped in veils that floated as though underwater. Her face was calm, ancient, with eyes that glowed like two quiet suns. She did not speak with a voice. She spoke as a feeling, a soft pressure in the heart, a whisper that formed without sound. Continue. Arion swallowed gently, breathing the thin, luminous air, and climbed. The figure dissolved back into drifting lights, returning to the sky like dust rising on a silent wind. The higher Arion ascended, the quieter the world became, as though sound itself was being left behind. Halfway up, visions flickered around him, ancient cities of smooth white stone, temples crowned with fire that did not burn, keepers in armor of pale silver, standing upon stairways just like this, holding discs like the one he carried. Echoes, memories, lives long gone but not forgotten. With each step, the visions grew softer, fading like dreams at the edge of waking. When Arion reached the final curve of the staircase, he saw it, a great ring of light suspended above the last step. A perfect circle, glowing with soft gold and brilliant white, turning slowly in place. The portal, the next threshold, the next truth. The air around it vibrated like the hum of a distant sun. Arion paused on the last step, feeling the gentle pressure of destiny around him. Light that seemed to breathe, waiting for him to enter. He inhaled deeply, steady, present, and stepped forward. The ring of light expanded silently, opening like a dawn made of pure radiance, and enveloped him until his form dissolved into shimmering white mist. Arion passed through, and the stairway of starlit echoes faded behind him like a dream returning to sleep. The moment Arion stepped through the ring of light, the world changed once more. Not abruptly, but gently. Like drifting into a deeper layer of a dream he had been dreaming his entire life without knowing. He emerged into a vast, circular chamber, silent, dim, ancient beyond comprehension. The walls rose impossibly high, carved from smooth stone that shimmered faintly as though holding trapped moonlight. And at the center, floating above a pedestal of black marble, was a sphere of light, soft, pale, alive, not bright enough to blind, but deep enough to pull the breath from his lungs. This was not an object, not a relic, not a weapon. It was presence, a heartbeat made of light. A memory given form, a voice waiting to be spoken again. Arion felt himself stepping toward it without thinking, without choosing, as though every path of his life, every battle, every scar, every unanswered question had been nothing but a slow approach toward this exact moment. The sphere pulsed as he neared it, once, twice, then in perfect rhythm with his own heartbeat, a warm tremor spread through his chest. He whispered, "The first echo." The chamber answered, not with a sound, but with a shift in the air, a barely audible hum that grew into a soft vibration around him. The light expanded, not outward, but inward, as if opening its own memory for him to witness. A figure began to form inside the sphere, tall, hooded, wrapped in simple robes woven with moving patterns of light. Arion's breath stopped. He knew this presence, not from life, not from stories, from something deeper, a connection beneath thought, beneath blood. The figure raised its head. Gentle light outlined a face that looked neither young nor old, neither human nor other, simply beyond. When it spoke, it did not speak through the air. It spoke directly into Arion's spirit. "You have come far, Arion." The voice was soft, calm, filled with sorrow and hope, woven so tightly that one could not exist without the other. Arion swallowed. Who are you? The figure's light shifted, intensifying subtly. The first of the keepers, the last of my era. The one whose lineage did not end. Arion felt his chest grow tighter. You're the one from the vision. Yes. What happened to your world, to the keepers? The figure lowered its head slightly, a gesture heavy with memory. We tried to save a world that had already chosen its end. And when the final night came, we preserved what could still be carried forward. The sphere brightened, revealing fragments of a long-lost age, cities of silver stone, storms of fractured light tearing the sky, the keepers forming a circle, their bodies dissolving into pure radiance. Sacrifice. The realization struck him. The keepers had not fallen. They had transformed. Their knowledge, their essence, their echo, poured into a lineage that would survive the collapse of empires and rise again in him. Arion felt a trembling warmth spread through his ribs. Why me? His voice was a whisper barely leaving his lips. Because you listened. A simple answer, the truest one. The light grew warmer, gathering around Arion like a gentle cloak. The world above is beginning to echo with the same discord that ended mine, the figure said softly. You carry what we preserved, but the echo must be awakened fully before the next cycle begins. Arion breathed slowly. What must I do? For the first time, the figure extended its hand, a hand made of swirling starlight. Join your echo with mine. Let our light become one. Only then will the final truth open to you. Arion felt the weight of inevitability settle into his bones. Heavy, but right. He stepped forward, reaching out, slowly, steadily, surrendering into the pull he had felt since the moment the stone disk first awakened beneath his touch. As his fingers brushed the keeper's hand, the chamber exploded into light, soft, warm, consuming, like stepping into the dawn of a world not yet born. Everything dissolved, everything opened, everything remembered, and Arion fell into the heart of the first echo. There was no falling, no rising, no sense of direction at all, only light, endless, warm, alive. Arion floated in it as though suspended inside a living sunrise, not blinded, not overwhelmed, but held, supported, recognized. The light moved around him in slow, swirling currents, like shimmering tides shaped by memories older than time itself. For a long moment, there was no sound, only the quiet pulse of existence. Then, a vibration, soft, harmonic, growing into a quiet resonance that filled the entire space around him. A voice emerged from it, the same voice as before, but now richer, layered, as if 1,000 memories spoke in harmony. Do not fear this light. It is your home as much as it was ours. Arion tried to speak, but sound felt meaningless here, too small for a place made of pure truth. The light around him condensed, shaping itself into fragments of scenes, glimpses of the past. He saw the keepers again, their bodies dissolving into radiance as the final catastrophe consumed their world. He saw a young keeper, the one whose echo he now touched, kneel before a circle of ancient stones, pressing his hand to his chest as light spread from him into the earth itself. He saw the rise of new civilizations centuries later, unaware of the silent guidance written into their myths, their instincts, their bloodlines. He saw Templars, early, humble, nothing like the knights of legend, gathered in a dim chamber receiving whispers they never fully understood. And he saw himself, a child holding a simple wooden charm, one he had always believed was carved by a local craftsman. But now he could see the faint, forgotten mark on its surface, the symbol of the first keepers in miniature, hidden in plain sight. The memories folded back into light. The voice spoke again. "You carry our echo not by chance, but by choice. A choice your ancestors made when the old world ended." Arion felt something stir within him. Not fear, not pride, something deeper. Acceptance, recognition, as though the missing pieces of himself were sliding quietly back into place. The light around him thickened, gathering into a concentrated core directly before him. The figure of the first keeper slowly emerged from that brilliance, clearer now, more defined, almost solid. "This is the moment, Arion," the keeper said softly. "The convergence begins." The space around them vibrated, threads of silver light connecting Arion's chest to the keeper's. Not pulling. Not forcing, aligning, like two distant stars moving into the same orbit. Arion exhaled gently, the breath slow, steady, filled with a calm he had never felt before. "What will happen to me?" The keeper's expression softened, filled with a quiet, ancient sorrow. "You will not lose yourself, but the part of you that has always slept will finally open its eyes." Arion felt the warmth spread from the connection of light down his arms, along his spine, into the center of his being. Memories not his own brushed his mind, not entering, not intruding, but knocking gently like travelers, asking permission to rest. He allowed them in, and a flood of sensation poured through him, cities of silver stone under twin moons. Voices chanting in a tongue that resonated with the bones of the earth, hands raised in unity as worlds shifted and fell. The breath of an ancient wind that no longer existed. And within it all, a single truth. He was not becoming someone else. He was becoming complete. The keeper stepped closer, their forms now only inches apart. "When the convergence ends, you will carry not only your echo, but mine. And with it, the final path will open." Arion nodded slowly, eyes half closed, feeling the universe narrowing into this one quiet moment. The keeper extended a hand, their palm luminous, soft as clouded moonlight. Arion raised his own, their hands met. And the chamber exploded into pure white radiance, a rushing tide of light that swallowed the world with silent, infinite grace. The convergence had begun. The forest seemed to finally exhale. The wind softened, drifting through the branches like a long, quiet breath, and the light that once pulsed between the distant trees now settled into a steady, gentle glow. Warm, calm, almost protective. She took her final steps toward the ancient stone circle, the same place where everything began. The same place where she first felt fear, confusion, and that hollow ache of being alone. But now, her chest was steady. Every part of her felt lighter, like the long journey had peeled away all the noise inside her. It wasn't the forest that had grown quieter, it was her. As she moved closer, she noticed something new. The stones, once cold and lifeless, carried a faint golden vibration. Not a flare, not magic, more like a deep recognition. As if they could feel her presence and understood who she had become. She placed her hand on one of them. The rough surface hummed beneath her fingertips. Slow, deep, steady, the same rhythm as her own breathing. And for one suspended moment, it felt as if the entire forest aligned with her. The wind stilled, the leaves quieted, the glow softened around her. And for the first time since the beginning, she wasn't searching anymore. Not for answers, not for direction, not for meaning. She simply was. A soft voice, not outside but within, whispered gently through her. "You have arrived." She closed her eyes, the energy in the air wrapped around her with the warmth of something ancient and kind, something that had been waiting for her, patiently. Then, slowly, almost like time itself was breathing out, the light began to dissolve. Not fading, just surrendering. First around her chest, then her arms, her back, her legs. Until there was no forest, no path, no shadows, no uncertainty, only a vast, deep rest. A rest that felt like it crossed worlds. A rest that whispered softly, "You are safe." Her breath slowed, her body grew lighter, and when she finally opened her eyes again, she was back in her own world. The same place she had drifted from, the same moment she had left. But everything felt different now. Quieter, clearer, fuller. The forest was just a forest again, but inside her, something had awakened. Something that would not fade with the morning light. She took in a gentle breath, a small, honest smile touched her lips, and she began walking back, slowly, peacefully. No rush, no fear, no weight. Because now, she understood. The journey had not ended, but the struggle had. And as she walked, the narration softened like dissolving mist, leaving only the tender whisper of the wind and the quiet certainty that somewhere deep within her heart, everything was finally at peace. The end.